Ethan's ship cut through the atmosphere of the alien planet with a soft hum, the blue and purple clouds swirling like liquid silk around him. He had been alone in space for months, charting unvisited sectors of the galaxy, and this planet unnamed in any human database had caught his attention for its vibrant energy signatures. He felt a strange pull toward it, as if it were calling him. As he stepped out of the landing bay, the world unfolded before him. The sky glowed with streaks of green and violet light, and floating islands drifted lazily above the horizon. Plants with crystalline leaves shimmered, reflecting the multicolored light. A soft, almost musical hum came from the energy fields around the flora, resonating through the soles of his boots. It was unlike anything he had ever experienced. He started exploring, cautious but curious, his eyes taking in the breathtaking beauty. The air was alive with a gentle warmth, carrying scents that reminded him of earth flowers yet were completely alien. That's when he saw them, small figures moving gracefully among the luminous trees. At first he thought they were hallucinations, but as he stepped closer, the figures became clearer. They were humanoid, but unlike any humans he had ever seen. Their skin had a subtle luminescence, soft like moonlight, and their large eyes reflected colors of the surroundings. They moved with fluid elegance, as though dancing with the air itself. A feeling of peacefulness washed over him, unusual for someone who had spent years in the cold, silent vacuum of space. A small, cheerful voice called out, "You're new here!" Ethan turned to see a young girl stepping toward him. Her hair shimmered like threads of silver, and her eyes were wide with curiosity. "I'm Lyra," she said, bowing slightly in greeting. "Who are you?" "I'm Ethan," he replied, adjusting to the unusual politeness of the alien gesture. "I didn't expect to find anyone here." Lyra smiled, tilting her head. "Most humans don't come here. You must be very brave or very curious." She laughed, a sound like wind chimes. "Come with me. You should meet my family. My sister would like you." Ethan followed, noticing how the alien village emerged seamlessly from the landscape. Homes were grown, not built, shaped from the living trees and glowing crystals. Bridges of light connected the floating islands, and small energy streams ran through the paths like rivers of liquid light. He met Serena almost immediately. She was sitting quietly in a garden, touching the petals of a flower that glowed faintly. Her skin was pale with a soft luminescence, and her hair fell like liquid silver. Her eyes were closed, and Ethan realized she did not open them at all. "This is my sister, Serena," Lyra said, tugging his sleeve. "She can't see. She was born like this, but she can feel everything else." Ethan smiled awkwardly, unsure how to interact with someone who couldn't see him. Lyra giggled. "Don't worry. She won't know how ugly you are." Ethan froze, unsure if it was a joke or insult, but Lyra's innocent laugh quickly eased the tension. Serena, unaware of the comment, reached out her hand toward him. Ethan took it gently, feeling the warmth in her touch. "You have a different energy," Serena said softly. Her voice had a musical quality, calm and even. "I can feel it. It's strong, but kind." Ethan felt a strange pull in his chest, a connection he couldn't explain. I'm glad to meet you," he said. Lyra clapped her hands. "See? I told you she would like you." Then she leaned closer and whispered, "You should stay for the festival tonight. It celebrates life partnerships. You might be chosen." Ethan blinked. "Chosen?" Lyra's eyes sparkled. "In our culture, marriage isn't about looks. It's about energy and respect. My sister feels it with her heart, not her eyes." Ethan wasn't sure what to say. Everything about this planet and its people was unlike anything he had known. He spent the day exploring the village, learning about their customs. The aliens used gentle energy pulses to communicate complex feelings. Their food was luminescent, growing from plants that thrived on light and sound. Ethan realized that survival here depended on understanding energy patterns rather than physical strength. As evening approached, the village prepared for the festival. Lanterns made of glowing crystals floated in the air, casting soft light over the gathering. The community dressed in flowing robes that shimmered with embedded energy threads, colors shifting like the surface of a bubble. Ethan was offered a robe to wear, feeling both honored and out of place. Lyra grabbed his hand, pulling him to the center of the celebration. "Watch carefully," she whispered. "The energy dances tell stories. They show bonds forming. You might feel it with Serena." Ethan observed the patterns, waves of light twisting and colliding, revealing emotions like joy, love, and trust. He felt something unusual when the energy lines touched him. There was a warmth, a recognition that seemed to come from Serena herself. As the night deepened, Ethan joined Lyra and Serena near a glowing pool. Serena's hand rested gently in his. "Humans are different," she said thoughtfully. "Your energy is not like ours, but it is steady, strong, honest." Ethan's heart raced. He had traveled light years, faced unknown dangers, yet here on this strange planet, someone saw him not for his appearance but for who he was. Lyra watched them with a mischievous smile. "I told you," she said. "She doesn't see how you look, only who you are. That's the way it should be." Ethan laughed softly, the tension of the day fading. "I never thought I could be understood like this." The festival reached its peak as energy currents from all the villagers formed a swirling vortex above the settlement. Light touched the ground in soft waves, illuminating faces with a gentle glow. Ethan felt himself swept up in the motion, not with fear but with awe. Serena's hand tightened slightly in his, a subtle acknowledgement of their connection. Lyra leaned close. "Tomorrow you will join a special ceremony," she whispered. "It's not binding yet, but the elders will sense your energy with Serena's. You must be sincere, Ethan. Only truth is accepted here." Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. He had faced countless unknowns in his travels, but this was a test of something far more personal. It was not about survival, not about exploration, but about heart, trust, and respect. He realized that in a place where appearances mattered little, the essence of a person was all that truly mattered. As the night grew quiet, Ethan lay on the soft grass outside his temporary quarters, watching the floating islands drift against the glowing sky. He thought about Serena's calm, accepting nature, and Lyra's mischievous energy. The universe had brought him here for a reason. Perhaps it wasn't just discovery of a new world, but discovery of a connection that transcended species, appearance, and expectation. He drifted to sleep under the alien stars, uncertain of what the next day would bring, but strangely at peace. A sense of anticipation hummed through the air, mingling with the soft energies of the planet. Tomorrow, he would step into the heart of a culture that valued essence over form, where the bond of two beings could be felt rather than seen. And perhaps, just perhaps, he would find a place where he belonged. The next morning, Ethan awoke to the soft hum of the alien village. Light filtered through the crystal leaves, casting patterns on the ground like liquid glass. He stretched and stepped outside, breathing the warm, fragrant air. The festival was still ongoing, but today held a special purpose. Lyra was already waiting, bouncing slightly with excitement. "Come on," she called, grabbing his hand. "The elders want to see your energy with Serena. Today is important." Ethan followed her through the glowing paths, feeling the gentle pull of energy currents beneath his feet. The village seemed alive in a way that defied description, each pulse and shimmer reflecting the inhabitants' feelings. Serena was waiting near the ceremonial pool. She had changed into a flowing robe that shimmered faintly, the fabric reacting to her energy, making soft waves of light around her. She smiled at Ethan, her hands open. "Good morning," she said softly. "I hope you slept well." "I did," Ethan replied, feeling a warmth in his chest he had not experienced before. I am ready for whatever comes next." Lyra giggled. "Just be yourself, Ethan. That's all that matters." She skipped ahead to join the other children who were helping prepare the ceremony. The elders arrived soon after, their presence commanding but not intimidating. Each elder radiated an aura of energy that shimmered like colored glass, reflecting centuries of knowledge and calm authority. One of them stepped forward, placing a hand on the ceremonial pool. The water reacted instantly, glowing brighter and forming gentle waves that stretched toward Ethan and Serena. "This ceremony is to measure the bond of two beings," the elder explained. "It is not about appearances or judgments. Only truth in spirit matters. Approach with honesty and your connection will be revealed." Ethan nodded, feeling the gravity of the moment. He took a deep breath and stepped closer to Serena. Their hands met over the pool, and immediately, he felt the subtle energy currents intertwining. It was unlike anything he had felt in his life. A connection that seemed to extend beyond touch, beyond thought, into something almost instinctive. Serena's own energy resonated with his, gentle yet strong, and he realized that this bond was mutual. The water in the pool responded, glowing brighter and sending ripples across the surface. The elders murmured softly, observing the resonance. Lyra clapped her hands, excited.
See, you two are connecting.
Ethan looked at Serena, who was smiling faintly. I feel something I can't explain, he admitted. It's like we understand each other without words. Serena nodded. I feel it too. You're honest and your spirit is steady. That is what matters here. The ceremony continued as the elders guided them through a series of symbolic gestures. Ethan had to follow his instincts, trusting the connection rather than trying to anticipate any expectations. Serena, in turn, moved with calm precision, each gesture amplifying the resonance between them. Light swirled around them, the pool reflecting colors that changed with every subtle movement. Ethan felt an exhilaration he had never experienced. Fear, joy, and anticipation mingled into a single focused emotion. After the ritual gestures, the elders stepped back. The pool's glow coalesced into a soft, hovering light that circled Ethan and Serena. One elder approached. Your bond is genuine, he said, his voice deep and resonant. It is rare for a human to achieve this level of resonance, yet your honesty has bridged the difference in your forms. The connection is accepted. Ethan exhaled, relief and amazement flooding through him. He looked at Serena, her eyes still closed, but her energy clear and welcoming. Lyra cheered quietly, bouncing in place. I knew it, she whispered, clapping her hands with delight. The celebration resumed in earnest, but now it had a deeper meaning. Villagers approached to offer blessings, each touch sending gentle ripples of energy through Ethan. He realized that in this culture, love and partnership were measured by energy and sincerity, not appearances. Serena, despite her blindness, had seen him in a way that went beyond physical form, and that thought filled him with humility and awe. As the festival went on, Ethan explored more of the village with Serena. They walked through floating gardens where plants grew in midair, roots spiraling elegantly downward while blossoms hung like lanterns. Ethan laughed as Serena reached out to touch everything, sensing textures, temperatures, and subtle vibrations he could barely notice. Her curiosity was infectious, and he found himself marveling at the world through her eyes, or rather through her perception of it. Lyra stayed close, offering occasional playful comments. Don't let her trick you into thinking she can't see you, she teased. She feels everything. Ethan smiled, realizing she was right. Serena's senses were far sharper than his own in many ways. Suddenly a warning hum echoed through the village. Energy spikes from the floating islands shifted erratically, causing some of the structures to tremble. Villagers rushed to stabilize their homes, sending directed energy pulses to keep the islands from drifting too far. Ethan instinctively stepped forward, remembering the patterns he had observed the day before. Watch out, Lyra shouted, grabbing his arm. Serena reached out instinctively, her hand touching Ethan's shoulder. He felt her energy pulse in a reassuring rhythm, guiding him. Together, they helped channel energy to stabilize a floating garden that had begun to tilt dangerously. Ethan realized that Serena's connection was not only emotional but practical. She could sense subtle changes in the environment through energy fluctuations. The crisis passed, and the elders nodded in approval. Your actions show courage and presence of mind, one elder said. You are worthy not only of partnership but of trust within our community. Ethan felt a surge of pride, but more importantly, gratitude. He had been judged not by looks, not by strength, but by character. Later, as the sun set in hues of violet and gold, the festival reached its conclusion. Ethan and Serena stood together near the ceremonial pool, hand in hand. Light from the floating islands reflected in the water, casting a shimmering halo around them. Lyra tugged at Ethan's sleeve. Say something to her, she urged softly. Ethan took a deep breath. Serena, I don't know what tomorrow or the future holds, but I know that being with you, sharing this connection, is important to me. I don't care about anything else. I care about you. Serena's hand squeezed his gently. And I care about you, Ethan. You have shown honesty, courage, and kindness. Those are what matter to me. That is what I can feel. Nothing else is important. Lyra clapped her hands, spinning in delight. Finally! I knew you two were perfect for each other. She ran ahead, scattering small glowing petals into the air which floated like delicate stars around them. The elders approached, placing their hands on the pair. You are accepted, one said. The bond of spirit has been recognized. Go forward together and honor this connection with trust and respect. Ethan looked at Serena, feeling a warmth he had never known in his travels. She could not see him, yet she understood him in a way no one else ever had. The thought humbled him and filled him with determination. He would protect her, care for her, and cherish the connection they shared no matter what challenges lay ahead. As night fell fully, the village quieted. Floating lanterns glowed softly, reflecting in Ethan's eyes. He and Serena walked hand in hand through the gardens, Lyra trailing behind with occasional bursts of laughter. Every step felt like a discovery, not of a planet but of trust, friendship, and love. Ethan realized that the universe had given him something far more extraordinary than any discovery or adventure, a connection that transcended species, form, and sight. He had come seeking exploration, but he found understanding, acceptance, and something akin to family. Serena, the blind alien girl, had seen him in the truest sense, and that sight was more powerful than any eyes could provide. In that moment, under alien stars that shimmered with colors humans could not name, Ethan understood a universal truth. Love, trust, and sincerity were the strongest forces in any world, stronger than gravity, stronger than fear, and in Serena's calm, steady presence he had found a home he had never known he was searching for. The night deepened, the lights of the village glowing softly in the distance, and Ethan held Serena's hand tightly. He knew that their journey together had just begun, but for the first time in his life he felt certain of one thing. Heart mattered more than appearance, and connection mattered more than form. Whatever the universe held next, they would face it together, and as they stood there, a human and a blind alien girl, the energy currents of the world seemed to hum around them, a quiet celebration of understanding, trust, and the kind of bond that could never be broken.